Hello everybody, this is the week we just changed the clock. We have a little more daylight at the end of the day. We can notice that winter is beginning to turn to spring. The days are a little bit warmer. And I thought this might be a good week to talk about an outdoor activity and destination, and that is Dumbo. Not the Disney character, but the area that is down under the Manhattan Bridge overpass. It's a very interesting area that most people would have never had reason to visit until about 15 years ago, because it is or was a largely industrial area, factories, warehouses, pretty gritty and grimy, and what was once a very unwelcoming variety of qualities and characteristics are now called by realtors charming cobblestone streets, charming condos in buildings that were once factories and warehouses. And because the views of Manhattan from the Dumbo area are nothing short of amazing, where you're looking out at the bridges and lower Manhattan and the East River, this area has become very, very popular for tourists and residents alike. So what do you do on a visit to Dumbo? There is a beautiful park that's been built on the East River called the Brooklyn Bridge Park. It's over a mile long. There's all sorts of grassy areas and areas to play and stroll and take a look out on the beautiful and broad Manhattan skyline. And adjacent to the Brooklyn Bridge Park is a very beautiful carousel called Jane's Carousel. It's just about 100 years old. It was built in 1922. It's enclosed in a magnificent glass kind of conservatory-looking building, so that regardless of the time of year, you can go inside and enjoy it yourself, with a child, with a grandchild, and as you're spinning around on the beautiful old horses of the carousel, of Jane's Carousel, you're looking out at Manhattan. The streets that run through Dumbo give unusual views of Manhattan because they're narrow, they're cobblestone, and off in the distance you have the outline of the bridges, Manhattan Bridge and Brooklyn Bridge, and you can see the Manhattan skyline in the distance. On my visits there, I've often seen brides being photographed by professional photographers because the framing of the pictures is wonderful. The colors, the different materials, the old structures and new structures make for very, very interesting photography. How do you get to Dumbo? So you could drive there and park. It's a little bit tight, but there are parking lots. There's even a little bit of metered parking. But a much more exciting way to visit is to take one of the two ferry services that service Dumbo. There is one service that comes across from Manhattan, from 42nd Street, from the South Street Seaport, from Battery Park City, and they make a stop at Dumbo. There is another ferry service that runs through South Brooklyn, beginning in Bay Ridge and Sunset Park, and bringing you to Dumbo, and there are connecting ferry services even going up towards Astoria. So if you are intrigued by the idea of a hop-on, hop-off ferry service, this might be a very nice way to make your dramatic entrance to visit Dumbo. I hope you'll take the time to visit Dumbo because it is part of a very exciting borough right now, the borough of Brooklyn. And in my upcoming visit, we'll talk a little bit about Governor's Island. Governor's Island is also a ferry stop on the ferries that service Dumbo. Enjoy your trip to New York City. Enjoy the warm weather as it begins to envelop us here in the Northeast. And we'll see you again soon.